Good morning, everyone. How are you guys? Happy Monday. What a wild couple days, huh? Between Friday's dump and then the gap open last night. Pretty crazy. Good morning, G-Man, MB Trader, Hector, Renzo, High Society Trader. What's going on, you guys? Chichimus, I just saw your comment about the value area high. Yeah, yesterday's or Friday's value area high, I have pretty much up at previous day high, at all-time high. I didn't even mark it just because it's way up there and seems out of reach today. But yeah, it was pretty high up there. Oh, point of control. Yeah, I have Friday's point of control at 25,337. Yep, because it chopped around for a good hour and a half at that level and then just dumped. So I guess that was where most of the volume was actually traded before it sold off. Good morning, good morning. So I drew up the overnight fixed range volume profile. We're kind of chopping around. The point of control is at this white line right here where my cursor is. So we're right above that. I did have a high of day anchored VWAP set right here. And on that last candle that just busted through, it broke through that. And it's holding above VWAP, holding above the anchored VWAPs. I'm a little bit torn. Like, obviously, it opened up super bullish, and it's holding above a bunch of different levels. So I don't really want to short a recovery bounce like this. But it's also been such a big move up. Kind of just want to see what happens at the open. I'll be watching for different liquidity grabs. So London high is up here, which is also at a high volume node that I have. So if it maybe comes up to like 960-ish and sells off, I'd be interested in looking at a short potential. Or if it just sells off from here and breaks below some levels, maybe comes down to London low or value area low, that would be a decent long opportunity. But then that's also starting to get to where it might bounce back down to the open too. The Sunday open. So really, I'm just going to be patient. There's no news today. Crazy last couple of days. I feel like the market kind of needs to digest that a little bit. And then all this stuff going on with the tariffs, who knows? Like Trump or China could say something crazy and make the market just move. For me, I'm going to be sizing down today and just trading really careful. That's my plan. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. You think this pump's going to continue up? The move's going to continue up? Or if that's kind of the end of the recovery bounce and we're going to go back down? What are your thoughts? That was an interesting move on this candle right here, right at 8 o'clock Central. Let me pull up Financial Juice. Did anything come out at that time? OpenAI announced something about custom data center chips for 2026. I don't know if that's what it was. Cheechmas, wait until 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. That's a good plan. I like it. Yeah, that's a good point, Nandia. The big jump up at the open did not have as much volume as Friday's drop. That is a good point. It's starting to make its way down. We got the market opening here in a couple minutes. All right, market's open. Let's see what happens. Definitely not a super smooth direction at the open so far. It's not one of those opens where it's just like strong momentum in one direction right away. Very interesting. It's holding above VWAP. Quite a bit of volume coming in. It's definitely pinching between that high of day anchored VWAP and the overnight session VWAP. Trying to figure out where it wants to go. My goodness, you guys. This is so indecisive. This is kind of funny to watch. Decent little trend line going on right here. Not super clean, but it's holding. All right, starting to make its way below VWAP. Let's see if it comes down to this London low at like 730-ish and we get a strong buy up from there. That might be a decent long opportunity. Just kind of watching right now. It's holding the bottom of this high volume node that I have. Not holding anymore. All right, let's see what happens at this London low. We might be going lower. I mean, obviously we are going lower, but I just mean we might be going a lot lower if this continues. Ooh, now it's getting heavy. All right, is it going to bounce at this London low? The question is it just coming down to grab a little bit of liquidity before continuing back up? Or is this thing going to dump again? I kind of feel like today is not going to be a super trending day. It might be kind of choppy. Friday's value area low is sitting at 688, and there was quite a bit of volume last night at that level. So if it gets down there, let's see what happens there. Still got 9 minutes left in the open. Opening range, I mean. Starting to get a little bounce at that London low. It's not really looking like it is a liquidity grab kind of bounce though. Might continue lower. You talking about JC Trades, that London low? It is. I'm not taking a long here though. I kind of would rather, if it bounces at this value area low at 688, I would prefer a long there if it shows signs of bouncing. Still watching here though. All right. I'm going to try a small position long. 771.25 is where I entered. And we'll see. Am I using the box breathing technique from the Navy SEALs? No. Did it sound like it? That's funny. If this holds and starts to get some good buying momentum, I could see it continuing higher up to London high or beyond to like 960-ish. No audio? Can you hear me? Good morning, Brick. It's kind of chopping around. Are you going to hold and go back up? All right, while we're waiting for that to figure out what it's actually going to do, I'll start marking off our opening range so far. This is the New York anchored VWAP, kind of sitting below that. Let's see if we can get some momentum and break through it. Yeah, something like that. That's what I wanted. That's what I was looking for. So it's back at the high of day anchored VWAP. Let's see if it continues and breaks through. I have my ultimate target up at the high volume node, the top of it at 960. But we'll see what happens at the 15-minute opening range high. This right here is the 15-minute opening range high. See if it breaks above. So it broke strong above the New York anchored VWAP. I don't put a ton of weight on that yet since it's only 15 minutes in. There's not a ton of data, but it's starting to get above the session VWAP too. Oh man, don't like that. If this is any indication of what the trading day is going to be like, it might be rough. Choppy, lots of wicks all over the place, just crazy movement. I believe it though. There's lots of stuff going on in the world and no news, government shutdown, like all that. Not great trading situation. Sealaport, no, I have not taken partials yet. I want to see what happens at the 15-minute opening range high. If strong buying volume starts to come in, then we could head up to London high. I have my home run target set at the top of that high volume node, but I'll probably take partials before then. If it breaks the top of the range with strength, it would be an opportunity to add also. I'll move to break even at least at this point in case another crazy rejection happens again. Gonna sit here and make us work for it. The slow grind up continues. So 15-minute opening range high is sitting at the top of a high volume node I had marked off. So want to watch for that possible fake breakout opportunity here. So far it's looking good though. If we get a good close outside of the range, I'm going to add and then hold to London high, maybe beyond. All right, well, it's going, still going. If it comes back, we can add. Might have missed that opening range high, breakout, retest, add opportunity. That's all right. Hey, Emery, I do like the futures desk a lot. I'm not going to tell you if you should or shouldn't purchase from them. Do your own research, but I like their rules. I really like that they have kind of a build your own adventure account kind of thing. Like you can toggle how many days you want to be able to pass. You can choose static, end of day drawdown, intraday drawdown, like whatever you like, kind of build your own account. And then I really like that as soon as you pass the eval, you're basically put into a live brokerage account. They're doing something different than any other platform that I've seen. Most of them, you're stuck in a sim account for, 5 to 6 payouts or more. But with them, as soon as you trade to that buffer, they give you a live brokerage account, which is pretty cool. The eval is not super easy to pass. So if you're a beginner trader, I would say there's easier options to get to a payout. But if you're a pretty good trader and you're consistent, you have a good system, they have a really good setup. All right, so I did come back down and retest. I'm going to move my stop loss up just in case that ends up being a fake breakout, which is totally possible. So a sim funded account is like you're not actually taking trades on a real live account. You're still in like a simulated account, and the prop firm is paying you out of their bank account, not out of actual profits you've made in the market. So most prop firms will keep you in that phase until you've earned your way to a live account. A live funded account is the prop firm will actually give you real money to trade in the market. So in terms of your trading and your payouts, there's not a big difference. You still just trade and get payouts. But with the futures desk, you get to treat it basically like your own personal account. So if I make money today, I can withdraw it today. I don't have to wait like 5 days or 35% consistency or a lot of those rules that you see with other prop firms. Well, it broke out of the 15-minute opening range high, but it's kind of chopping around a little bit. London high is sitting at 946. That high volume node I mentioned, 960. And then, of course, we have 25K, which is a big level above that. All right, I'm going to start setting some scaling out targets. This is a crazy impressive recovery bounce after Friday's dump. I was definitely expecting or kind of guessing that we would have some sort of bounce, but I did not think it was going to be 800 points. I guess you got to expect the unexpected, right? The question is, how high is this thing going? This 25K level looks like a good target, but I mean, honestly, this huge drop right here, that whole candle could potentially be retraced. That just seems so wild. Like, hurts my brain trying to imagine that actually happening. Pretty crazy. Thanks, JC Trades. Stuck to the plan. I've been trying to get better at trusting my levels. I mean, I put in the work to like plan, and it dropped below, grabbed that London liquidity and reclaimed this high volume node. Kind of made sense that it wasn't going to be dropping. At least yet. It could still go down later. You like the trade of 8 time and sales better? I have it filtered to only large orders. It's filtered to, I think my face is in the way, but I have it filtered to 50 contracts or more. And so far I'm kind of just watching and like taking note of those levels. Don't know exactly what to do with that information yet. I want to give this a little bit of room to be able to pull back and continue up. So I don't want to trail my stop loss too tight, but I also don't want this thing to reverse on me. Enjoy your day, Stockfather. Oh no, Waffles. That stinks. Sorry to hear that. I've made that mistake a couple times in the past when I used to like flip between NQ and MNQ, but thankfully I don't trade NQ anymore, so it's just not on my screen. Well, good. Good mindset about it. Cheetramus, way to rub it in, dude. I accidentally oversized one time and I hit my daily profit target. Good morning, Shez. I know, Cheechamus. I was giving you a hard time. Chawel, the reason I entered long was, really, the short answer is it came down to this London low, and it held that level and had a pretty strong buy up from it. But I was kind of looking for longs anyway until proven guilty, until proven otherwise. I mean, we had a huge recovery bounce, and the trend was up. So it didn't make sense to be looking for shorts until some of these levels started to get broken. So since it held that level, I entered long. Now the question is, are we going to actually get some continuation up? Or am I being greedy and this thing's going to continue down or turn around and go back down? Waffles, you said previous 924. Is that previous day high? Like from Thursday? No. I don't know what you mean by previous. Oh, gotcha. I don't see much standing in the way of us hitting that London high. We have about 20 minutes until the initial balance is set. It'd be interesting if it came up to that London high and that was kind of the initial balance high and then it rejected from there. It would make a lot of sense for a failed auction setup. ES is kind of doing similar, actually. Coming up towards that overnight high. What's it doing? Grumpy, I usually stay on the 5-minute. Every once in a while, I'll move to the 2-minute, like on this liquidity grab right here. I was watching the 2-minute, but I definitely try to stay off the 1-minute. I get too easily swayed back and forth when I analyze every single 1-minute candle. So even the 2-minute is a little too much. So I like to stay on the 5-minute. Good morning, Nick. Nothing fast? You talking about the 1-minute chart? Or just the market in general today is kind of slow grinding? Our range is not bad, 189 points today. It just seems slow moving. Maybe because we're used to Friday's giant dump. That was really fast. That's all right, Nick. There's always another opportunity. Stay patient. Oh, Brandon, I haven't even looked. 110 people watching. Not a whole lot of likes, you guys. Go hit that like button. I'd appreciate it. It does help. Yeah, I agree with you, Shez. It seems slow, but then when I just measured the whole move, 189 point spread so far, that's pretty decent. It just feels like a slow grind. It's weird. No love, you guys. 42 out of 103 hit the like. Like I said Friday, I guess I need to come up with some better jokes. I'm just not entertaining enough. Gotta come on here all like high energy, like, what's up? Nope. Nope, you get the real me. I'm sleepy this morning. Yeah, Old Cracker Barrel, if you have, I think it's available only on the paid version. I'm not positive, but if you go up here to the top right, I think you can see my cursor right now. Go to take a snapshot and then copy link. And what that's going to do is take a snapshot of my current screen on TradingView. So even if I like delete all those markups and change my chart, it's going to take a screenshot of this. So basically I'll leave my markup on here, post that TradingView link, and then in the notes I'll write like what happened. That way I have a visual of it too. David thinks. David doesn't expect jokes. All right, we got about 11 minutes until the initial balance is set. Bebsy, good morning. Looks like it's coming down. All right. Stop me out. Where is it headed now? So we do have our anchored VWAP sitting right here. Could just be pulling back to bounce again. Let's see what happens down at this general level, like 24,811. So far, this is our initial balance high. Dang. That was a big drop down. Waffles, honestly, I think so. At this point, I would have wanted to be out. I guess VWAP would have been the invalidation. But honestly, I think I trailed tight probably just because seeing the unrealized profits, not wanting to give too much of it up. Bouncing at the bottom of my high volume node. All right, I'm re-entering there. Hopefully the bounce continues. 823. Bebsy, yeah, the volume has been decent. Waffles, that's a good question. Honestly, probably a little bit of both. Some definitely P&L, not wanting to miss out on the unrealized gains. But also, this was a bigger pullback than I would have put a regular trailing stop loss. Like that was a big drop. I like the level where it bounced. We just got to see if it's actually going to hold and continue back up. I don't know. It's not looking great for the bounce to continue up. It's hovering. Maria, going okay. Had one green trade that hit my trailing stop loss and then re-entered, hoping this bounces back up. Not loving this price action right now, though. Feels like longs right now are the hard grind up position to be in. If we can find a short, it might just dump and hit our target in 5 seconds. Longs are stressful today. Yeah, Chichamis, if this hits my stop loss, which I feel like it's coming, that's going to be my next point of action. Set an alert at the top and bottom of the range and see what happens. Wait for that to happen before I take another trade. Because right now it's chopping around in the middle. Is it going to hold and end up going up? Or is it coming from a stop loss? It's going to make me sweat through the process to find out. I guess I shouldn't have expected anything else on a no news Monday. No news, government shutdown, all that stuff. And bank holiday. But this market is putting us to sleep. Might need some coffee. Round 2 of coffee. So this is our initial balance high. Let's see what happens when we get up here. Hopefully we get some continuation and it actually goes up to that London high. What is ES doing? Seems like ES had a little bit of a bigger pullback than NQ did. All right, Cheechimus, have a good one. Thanks for dropping by. Linka, I have actually recorded my chart preparation. There's a couple of videos. If you check out my YouTube channel, they're labeled something like how I mark my levels or something like that. While this is kind of slow grinding up, I'll go look. There's a recent one I just posted in the chat, Linka, on how I mark my levels the night before. Or I think that one I did on the weekend, so I show what I do on the weekends too. TP of 932. That's an interesting level. Why would you not go up to 946? Just curious, G-Man. Was that based on a fib that you have drawn up? Gotcha. Yeah, I figured. Mo7, how do you have the confidence to hold the trade and draw down without closing it so close to stop loss? Well, for one, I size appropriately. So I kind of, before I enter the trade, I'm okay with losing $200. So I already have that mentality. Like, if I'm wrong, am I okay with losing $200? That's my risk. If I'm not okay with it, then it's probably not a good trade. And then I think it's just confidence in my setup and knowing that I'll be wrong sometimes, and that's okay. I think I'm not perfect at this for sure. Like it definitely gets to me sometimes when I do lose, but I've started to use each loss as a lesson and kind of just approach it with curiosity. Like, I wonder why that hit my stop loss. What did I not see? What did I miss? What could I have learned from this? Instead of being like, dang it, I lost money. I suck at trading. Like, don't let yourself get down that rabbit hole. Just know that you're going to have losses with trading. Mark it down in your journal and learn from it. And if it was a good loss, like you followed your rules, you followed your sizing, you followed everything, your entry was good and you lost, that's okay. That's a good loss. But if you lost because you entered just because everyone else was entering, or you had FOMO and you felt like you were going to miss out on the move or whatever, like if you had a loss because of that, that's when you need to reflect on how can I avoid these kind of losses. So I guess that was kind of a long way of answering your question. Just confidence in your setup and proper sizing. Still in that grind mode. I do have my final TP set at the top of that high volume node. I want to see what happens at initial balance high though. I'm curious to see where the initial balance extension would be. Oh, would you look at that? Right at 25K. That is an interesting spot. Because if this thing is going to continue up and it gets past this 960 level, I could definitely see it coming up towards 25K or at least a little bit short from it. Don't want to get too ahead of myself though. Hasn't even gotten back up to initial balance high. My goodness. I might be done trading. This is annoying. Super annoying. It's an equal opportunity dream wrecker for longs and shorts. Yeah, today is a rough day. I think that's why I've been so quick to trail my stop loss. Because it feels like it's just all over the place. Well, it's still stuck in the middle of this range. What I'm going to do is set an alert at the initial balance high and the initial balance low. And I'm going to watch for setups at those levels. And with that, I would just be watching for like a range play. If it rejects, we could possibly take a short there. Or if it comes down to the bottom of this range and bounces, I could probably take a long there. That would kind of be what I'm watching for at this point. But I don't want to sit and watch it chop in the middle. So that's what I'm going to do, you guys. I think I'm going to call it. Thanks for coming and hanging out, you guys. I might go work out too. Get away from the screen. Enjoy the rest of my day. I did. Yeah, I had my stop loss set pretty much at break even. So I hit my trailing stop loss. Possibly trailed it too tight. I mean, it could continue back up. I just don't love this chop ranginess. So just trying to protect profits. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, you guys. I will see you back live tomorrow. Hopefully I'll see you in the chat. Have a good one, you guys. Take care.